All right, so I've started the juice fast, prescribed by Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Joe Cross, I think it was his name, did this documentary where he went around the U.S. Drinking nothing but juice, vegetable and fruit juice, basically consuming nothing but raw vegetables and fruits. Um, and he lost quite a bit of weight while doing it. And I was inspired to lose weight myself because, as if anybody who is watching this knows me, I'm a big guy. I mean, you can tell I'm I'm a fat guy. I recently topped out at 348 pounds, and I don't want to be that big anymore. I've got a baby coming, and I would really like to be the type of dad who can run around with my kid and keep up with it and be fit for my kid and be a positive role model for my kid, showing that I am healthy and giving them an example of what it's like to be a healthy adult and human being, and instill in them proper eating habits, eating fresh, healthy foods, exercising regularly, and I don't do any of that right now, so I really need to make a change. So, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead really helped inspire me to do something. Now, what that something was, I wasn't sure. It didn't necessarily have to be juicing like they were doing in the movie, but I thought that I needed to get out there. I needed to stop eating McDonald's and Burger King for lunch every day and having 3 bowls of sugary cereal for breakfast every morning and then having McDonald's again for dinner. It's not healthy. It's not good food. It's not sustaining a healthy lifestyle. It doesn't give me the energy I need. I feel sluggish doing that sort of thing. A little while ago, probably a year ago, I decided to start jogging 3 times a week. I was going to be doing this thing called Couch to 5K, which gets somebody who's not a runner up to being a runner. And I got pretty far in the program. It's a 9-week program. I completed about 7 weeks before I ended up stopping. And I felt really good doing that. I was losing a little bit of weight. I was getting healthy, and my body was getting more fit. I had more endurance, more energy. I went from not being able to do I guess the first week is 1 minute on, minute and a half walking, minute running, minute and a half walking, 8 times over for the 60 seconds running and 90 seconds walking. And that was hard for me back when I started. But when I finally completed the 7 weeks, I was able to run 28 minutes without, well, I was winded and I had a hard time doing it, but I was able to complete it. 28 minutes of, well, not running, jogging. I guess I should be clear. I didn't run. I went about an average of 3 miles an hour, which is, in some people's opinion, a fast walk, but I was jogging. Anyway, the point is, I was able to do that without too much complaint. Um, right after watching Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, when I had this, you know, epiphany that I needed to change things again, that I couldn't go back to being this fat, lazy guy, I decided to go for a run. I thought, I'm going to get back on this. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to kick ass, and I'm going to do the Couch to 5K again. I'm going to start eating healthy. And I did the minute and a half off, and I was fucking dying. I was hacking up phlegm. I was coughing. I felt like I was going to throw up. I couldn't do 7-minute runs. So that was bad. I realized that I can't get healthy running and think, I'm a healthy guy, and then stop doing it for 8, 9 months, however long it was before I tried it again. I think it was 8 months between my last run and this one where I completely failed. So I want to get back to this. I want to get back into it. Running is going to come later, but I'm going to get back into doing that as well. Maybe bicycling. I don't know. Maybe a combination. Uh, Point is, this entire point of this video is to say that I eventually decided I was just going to try the juicing. It worked so well for Joe and the other guy in the movie. Sorry, other guy, I don't remember your name. But it worked really well for them. Joe, I think he lost 94 pounds. I'm not quite getting my facts right because I didn't research it, but he lost around 100 pounds in the 60 days that he did the juice fast. Now, they talk about on their website, jointhereboot.com, that you shouldn't do the 60-day fast without seeking medical support. So I have a scheduled appointment with my doctor to talk to her about me doing the juice fast. However, I've started it anyway before I've talked to her. I won't be doing a full 60 days before I've consulted with my doctor, being under medical supervision. That's the words they used. But I've already done 5 days, and I feel healthy. I feel energetic. I feel like I could go for a run and not necessarily be hacking up a lung. I feel really good, and I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. So today's day 6. I've completed 5 days. I started my 5 days at 348 pounds, heaviest I've ever been. And I often tell myself, this is the heaviest I'm ever going to be. I'm not going to gain any more weight than this. I'll lose a little, I'll stop, I'll start gaining again, and I'll exceed that. I believe my last top was 340. So, definitely exceeded that. Yeah, and anyway, 5 days later, day 1, I was pretty irritable at the beginning of the day because I hadn't actually started the juice fast before we went out to do stuff for the day. I was hungry, and I had already committed to, I'm going to do this juice fast. So if anybody's watching this video that needs advice on doing the juice fast, let me give you the best advice I can. Don't start day 1 without having already gone grocery shopping and have all the food that you're going to have in your fridge for that day, because if you have to go out and buy the food on day 1, day 1's going to suck. I ended up getting a headache. I juiced and felt a little bit better. Was still pretty irritable for the rest of the day, though. Just drinking juice, not having any food, probably because my body wasn't used to not eating yet, and so I was being irritable because of that. Day 2, I was prepared. I had the food. I juiced in the morning for breakfast, and I juiced 3 juices worth to have at work with me, but ended up being a really long day at work, and I was having a hard time getting the juices down. I don't know what it was, but on day 2, it sucked. It really, really sucked. I just couldn't. I have had such a hard time drinking them. I wanted the break. It was only the 2nd day in, and I wanted the burger. Specifically Wendy's. I don't know why Wendy's, but I guess of the fast food chains that I have access to out here, Wendy's is the one that I guess tastes best. I don't know if they're healthiest, but probably not. They're probably full of grease and crap things just as much as McDonald's and Burger King are. I just like the taste. But anyway, that's not the point. Point is, I didn't have a Wendy's burger. I didn't have any fast food. I made it through. I had a headache. I was irritable. I was feeling like shit. I felt like I was going to die. I felt like throwing up. I was nauseous all day long on day 2. So just as a heads up, day 2 sucks. At least for me it did. Sometimes I hear day 3 sucks. Day 3, I woke up. My body was a little bit more used to it. I was able to get through the day without being too sick. In fact, I didn't feel nauseous at all on day 3. I just had a little bit of a headache, not nearly as bad as day 2, though. But I continued juicing. I didn't break. I was sitting next to my wife while she was eating some potato chips, and I had her put them away. I couldn't. It was just like I was pining to just reach into that bag and grab a chip, not chick. And I didn't. She helped me not. She kept the bag away from me. But I reached over to read the bag because I wanted to know what chips she was eating, and of course she freaked out and she's like, "No!" But I didn't break on day 3, and things went better on day 4 considerably. Uh, Day 4, I had a lot more energy. I was a lot more normal. I felt like myself. I didn't feel sluggish in any way. And I was able to get my drinks down without an issue. Um, I Day 4, I actually forgot to juice. Well, not forgot. I ran out of time to juice before I went to work, so I ended up buying myself a puree, not a juice, from Bolthouse Farms called Green Goodness, which is delicious, and I've loved them before. And it's all fruit and veggie juices, so I knew I was safe drinking that. Uh, Only thing is, it's a puree, not a juice. I don't really know if that makes a difference, but it felt a little bit heavier in my stomach, so maybe. And then that night, before I came home, since it was a long night, I ended up picking up a V8, which claims is 100% vegetable juice. So I figured that was a good choice. Only thing is, I know that with V8, the veggies are reconstituted, so they aren't raw, they aren't fresh. They may have been cooked before, I don't know. Whereas when I juice at home, I'm getting raw, fresh veggies, and I think that that's very important. So I'm going to stay away from eating or drinking V8 as much as I can. I'll make my own at home, which is infinitely tastier anyway. But anyway, and then day 5, which was yesterday, it was a great day. It really was. I had a really good breakfast at home. I juiced before I went to work. I finished those juices at work. I got home and I made another juice before I went to bed, and it was delicious, and I had energy the entire day. I was in a good mood. I had no headaches, no nausea. I mean, basically day 4 and day 5, day 4 and 5 have been great. And I'm pleased to say that this morning I weighed myself, and I was... Wait, let me get the exact number. Well, let's put it this way. Facebook loads quick enough for me. Here it is. I lost a lot of weight in 5 days, so that's exciting. I know that the weight that I've lost is basically the same amount of weight I would have lost if I'd done any drastic change, whether it be I'm eating fresh fruits and vegetables and a little bit of chicken, and maybe a little bit of bread, and basically making that my meal. I know that I would have lost a significant amount of weight doing that as well. Remember, I started at 348 5 days ago. That was Sunday's weigh-in, and then today's weigh-in, Friday's weigh-in, I was 335.2 pounds. So, yes. I've lost 12.8 pounds in 5 days. 12.8 pounds in 5 days. 5! That's 2.56 pounds per day. I'm feeling a little bit better in my clothing. Not too much, so not really sure 100% if the weight is actually fat coming off or other. I hope it's not other, but it's a possibility. Joe Cross was saying that when he did his, he did lose muscle weight, but a majority of the weight that he lost was fat. He was under, again, strict medical supervision, so it was being monitored, and so he knew for a fact it wasn't just guesswork, and he lost mostly fat with some muscle loss. I imagine I'll probably have muscle loss as well. I don't know what of this is what. Could be water weight. Could just lost a bunch of liquid in my body. I don't understand how it works, so I'm not a medical person. Um, but my shirts do feel a little bit better. Not really 10 pounds worth better, but then again, I think this last 10 pounds that I recently gained was very, very recent, and I may not have really noticed how much more tightly my clothes have been fitting yet. So it's very possible that the extra 10 pounds that I lost just kind of brought me down to what I was, and I'm just noticing how they were, and they used to be tight. So uh, in another 10 pounds, I'm sure I'll notice more of a difference. Uh, so, yeah. This video has already exceeded 15 minutes, so I think I'll stop now and bid you all adieu. And yeah, I'll give another update at some point when I have more to say.